of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to ask Director Potts, you're online and can hear us, is that right? Director Potts, are you there? Can you hear us?
Ma'am.
Okay. Director Yankee, are you online? Director Yankee? Okay, so Director Barnes and currently Director Yankee are not online. Right. Okay, so those are the two that are not present at the moment. Okay. Director Beck, would you please read the mission and vision statement?
Mission statement: the Davenport Community School District is dedicated to growing excellence in academics, the arts, and athletics for every child by ensuring the highest quality education in an environment shaped by our diverse community, preparing our students to be lifelong learners and productive citizens. Vision statement: education that challenges conventional thinking, prepares all students to compete in a global society, and inspires our students, parents, staff, and community to answer the question, what if?
Thank you. Director Hayes, please read the guiding principles.
I'll be happy to. Opportunity: we provide abundant opportunities to empower students to reach their full potential academically, creatively, and socially. Collaboration: we foster an environment that allows students, families, and community stakeholders to come together for the betterment of our students' education and future. Transparency: we share relevant and important information with our students, families, and the community to maintain open and productive communication.
Thank you. Superintendent Schneckloff, please read the goals.
Tonight will be a focus on goal number 1, enhancing student learning, and goal number 4, foster innovative use of finance, facilities, and staff.
Next up, board reports. Director Beck.
Well, we were all in attendance at the high school graduations last week for North, Central, and West, although I did have to miss West. My flight didn't arrive in time. They were all, as usual, well done, and congratulations to all of our graduates. We also attended the Mid-City graduation, most of us, on Wednesday before that, and congratulations to those graduates as well.
Thank you. Anybody else? No. Okay. Next up is open forum. 1 second. Open forum is a time for members of the community to give input at a board meeting regarding school district issues or concerns. Individuals who want to speak, please fill out an open forum request and give it to the board secretary prior to open forum. The form is available in hard copy for in-person attendees or on the school board page of the district's webpage for those who want to participate virtually. Virtual participants must email their request to board comments at mail.davenport.k12.ia.us by 3 o'clock on the day of the board meeting, and we did have someone who did that. The time limit will be 2 minutes. The board asks that no charges or complaints be made against individual employees of the district or community. Remarks that reflect negatively on the character or motives of any person will be called out of order. You'll be asked to state your name and home address prior to making remarks. Please note the board meetings are recorded and the recordings are available online. Virtually, I have Scott McConnell. Sure, I'll just go with the virtual one first.
Yes, are you able to hear me?
Yes, please state your name and address, and then you may start.
Yes, Scott McConnell. Scott McConnell, 5980 Julianne Road, Bettendorf. I'm the founder of Quad Cities Advocates, a nonprofit that advocates for more accessible Quad Cities. On May 28th, I submitted a formal Title II ADA grievance. The Davenport Schools Director of Human Resources, Associate Director, Superintendent, and the legal department at the City of Davenport. At Mid-City High School, anyone approaching the building without a car is physically segregated from a safe entry. There are no sidewalks around the campus that pedestrians are able to access by sidewalk. If you use a power chair like I do, you're completely barred from accessing the school property from the street. Mid-City serves the students who deserve the exact same dignity, safety, and accessible infrastructure as any other student in Davenport. I filed the Title II ADA grievance with your administration in the City of Davenport May 28th. Per the city's official ADA grievance procedure, a formal response process must be initiated within 15 days of filing. And that will be this week. Please ensure administration works with the city to ensure every student can access Mid-City safely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up is Sherry, is it Bates? Okay. Please state your name and address.
Sherry Wilkinson Bates, 5112 North Fairmount Street, number 267, Davenport, Iowa, 52806.
Thank you. You may start.
Okay. My son Landon Orkison has special needs. Landon and a few of his friends were in the special. Oh, I gotta push this?
It's green. It's good. Just, oh, now you turned it off. Push the button, it'll turn green. And just pull the mic towards you a little bit more.
Okay. Landon and a few of his friends were in the Special Olympics. These children go to West High School. The Special Olympics played in golf, bowling, and basketball. In basketball, they won regionals and went all the way to the state championships and came in fourth. That is a huge accomplishment in their lives. Yet nothing was mentioned in the yearbook. On page 43, there is a very small picture of all the special needs children that I had to get a magnifying glass to see who was who, not to mention they are under Friends of the Falcons, which tells us that we aren't family. Wes always boasts that the Falcons are family. This is a lie. How do you think this makes the kids and their parents feel? I spent 3 weeks crying because we have nothing to look back on that he worked so hard for. West High School is discriminatory, unjust, unfair, non inclusive, and cruel. All the football players, cheerleaders, and whatever sport they have professional photographers taking all their photos. The Special Olympics team's pictures were only taken by their coaches on their cell phones. None of those made it into the yearbook either. I know it's too late for my Landon because he's a senior and his friends because they just graduated, but it's not too late for all the special needs children coming after them. I expect you to do better because I will be watching. Please do better for the future of these children. They are not second-class citizens. And this has been going on for years. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, consent agenda.
Madam President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board accept the consent agenda as written.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up is committee reports, breaking barriers,
It'll be rescheduled for this coming Friday at 10.
legislative advocacy, not at this time, right? Local school advisory committee,
Apparently, we are not done for the year. We have a meeting on Friday at noon.
long-range facility planning,
Not at this time.
policy, we met last week. You'll see some on the agenda. Recognition, we are done for till next fall. And finance.
Meeting next Thursday.
All right. Items requiring action. There are a lot. Canon copier renewal with ABS. Could I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Beck.
I move the board approve the 5-year ABS copier lease renewal in the monthly amount of $8,320.
Could I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, campus renewal contract for 26-27. Could I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board approve the Infinite Campus contract for the 26-27 school year in the amount of $167,619.
Could I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Director Beck.
I was just wondering if this, do we ever go out for an RFP to find I know it's an onerous task to switch school district software systems, but we've had this one for a while. Is this meeting our needs still? Are we thinking about other options? Do we ever think about other options?
This is meeting our needs, and it would be a 3-year replacement to replace it. That's what it was the last time we went from Power School to this. So it is a very onerous task. Almost all of the school districts in the state of Iowa use this one or Power School. So I think if you were to switch, you would just be trading the apples for, this for that.
And could I just say, as a teacher, they don't want you switching back and forth between them, and they use it a lot, so. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next up, purchase 5 open gate weapons detection systems. May I have
Madam President,
Director Poston?
move the board approve the purchase of 5 open gate weapons detection systems from School Specialty in the amount of $102,493.75.
Could I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Yearly notice of homeless liaison. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Hayes.
I move that the board designate Cheney Ford as local education agency liaison for homeless children and youth LEA homeless liaison for the 26-27 school year.
May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up is letters. Could I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Beck?
I move the board approve the learning contract for Lexia Letters for Lexia facilitator renewal units in the amount of $5,240, and for the Lexia letters online units in the amount of $54,426 for the 26-27 school year.
Could I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Director Beck?
I submitted a question, just trying to figure out, I have trouble remembering exactly the alphabet soup sometimes, so I was hoping the superintendent could kind of explain how this fits in with some of our other programs.
Yep. Letters stands for Language Essentials for Teachers of Reading and Spelling. So it's actually the science of reading, and it's what we use in our early elementary school to pair with Amplify CKLA, which are our curriculums. So they go hand in hand. You might notice a little confusing with Lexia letters. Lexia bought letters. So Lexia is a computer-based program. They purchased the training company letters, and letters paired with Amplify is the direction that the district had decided to go.
And so this is not the same Lexia that the kids use, or is it the same Lexia, but this would be for the teachers, the professional development side of things?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the same program, but this is for the professional development for the teachers to use Lexia with their students?
No.
No, okay.
Lexia bought Letters, the training. Letters is a 3-day, 4-day, 5-day professional development for teachers to teach
Reading. Okay.
Yep. And then the materials are CKLA, Amplify, which we are in our 3rd and 4th year in some places in implementation. And so this training will be ongoing forever because we believe this is a stake in the ground. All of our teachers need this training.
Okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, Amplify Coaching. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Poston.
move that the board make motion to approve PD contracts for Amplify CKLA in-person coaching in a total amount of $70,400 for the 2026-2027 school year.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions? Director Poston.
Will this be the same number of visits from Amplify as we've had in the past?
We are reducing by 1 day, and so each building will have 1 day first semester and another day second semester for their coaching visits.
So it'll be spring and fall,
Mm-hmm.
but every building
Every
will have
building.
access to that, and
Absolutely.
the Amplify person will be there on site.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel that is enough to continue to proceed with Amplify? Do you think that is enough personal development?
So we have built internal capacity not only with our specialists and our principals, but with our coaches. And so through this process, that gradual release model is really working well. And that internal capacity is so incredibly valuable that coaching continues on a day-to-day basis.
Okay,
And-
well, go ahead.
Yeah, and when the Amplify coaches come, they're doing that check of integrity of the program to make sure that we're hitting all the marks with that. And then we are able to go through our feedback and the data that they provide us to see if there's any themes that are happening. But those have gone really well the past 2 years. And we're really have built that internal capacity again for sustainability.
Okay. My only concern is if I don't want to cut this short and make sure that we have got everything in place and the teachers feel comfortable with it. When we look at our test scores and everything, we still need a lot of improvement, and so I just want to make sure that we're not cutting this short at this time.
Yeah, and this really layers beautifully with what our internal plan is. So, our internal plan is that our building principals are in classrooms to support our teachers. Our coaches are also conducting cycles, coaching cycles around implementation. And so, it's the things that happen in between the sessions when CKLA or Amplify coaches are in the district. So it is a continuous continuum of services that are provided to the buildings. And there's also a feedback loop that Jen and Bonnie collect. And that feedback loop is getting information from coaches and from teachers, as well as principals, on what's working and what's not, and what they have questions on.
With after a while, with Amplify not directly involved, we will still have our coaches doing the same thing that they've been doing all along within the coaches within each building.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the Learning Lab schools will get one additional day, correct?
They do, correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
Director Beck.
So I guess along with what Director Poston has mentioned, the continuity of fidelity is really, really important. What do we offer to new teachers? Do they get extra time with these coaches? I know we're building internal capacity, but whether we're there yet or not for the newer teachers, is this going to affect them at all?
That is a great question. And this year we were very intentional about the days of professional learning that our new teachers are getting. So they're getting one full day of Amplify to really get in and understand it. They also will onboard without letters. So those pair beautifully together. It gives the letters, gives the why, and then the Amplify is the how. And so they'll be getting that. They also have induction coaches as well as their building coach and their principal to provide support.
Any, Director Poston.
Just one more question. So, say down the road, a year or two from now, would Amplify, would that be available to have somebody come in again from Amplify, or that's always a possibility?
Always a possibility. And we've talked quite a bit within our department about the curriculum adoption process. And as we move into year 3 with Amplify CKLA, I think is a really beautiful example of how we started with fidelity and fidelity checks, moving more towards the instructional practices that happen within that this year. And then as we continue that next year, that'll just strengthen those practices that are happening in the classroom. But that doesn't stop after year 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. Those structures that we have in place are solid, and those will continue. And that's why that internal capacity is so important. It's fantastic, and it is really needed to have our Amplify coaches come in because they're that external, like they'll give us the truth and what we need to hear. But it's what happens each and every single day that also is critical in this. And the teachers are doing amazing. We have just seen some incredible growth with the implementation. So we're moving towards that integrity of the resource and being able to use that with the resource with integrity. And I also just want to take this moment to really celebrate. We have been attending it's called the High Quality Instructional Material Sessions with the Iowa Department of Education. And they actually highlighted Davenport and asked Davenport to present just a mini session of our implementation plan and the coaching and the follow-up and the support that happens behind it, because it has been well done. And that's just one example, but we've had other outside organizations reach out and also ask us about implementation because it is one of those areas that just needs so much attention. And our directors have just done an outstanding job with principals and principals supporting teachers on implementation.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, milestone license renewal. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Beck.
I move the board approve the milestone license renewal for FY27 in the amount of $107,146.46 paid to CEC Communications Engineering Company.
May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, Air Corps renewal. Could I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Beck.
I move the board approve the Air Corps annual renewal in the amount of $238,409.93.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, EICC MOU approval. Could I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board make a motion to approve the Eastern Iowa Community College Memorandum of Agreement for the 26-27 school year.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions? Director Poston.
In the MOU, it states the school board annually approves the post-secondary courses. So when do we do that?
At the start of the year during the course guide.
Okay. So that'll be done like in August or, okay.
I think we do that in October. Yeah.
Okay. And then just for comparison, how many of all the courses that are taught, how many are actually our instructors and how many are Eastern Iowa Community College? Do we have any idea? I mean, is it half and half or?
We have that breakdown, and we can put that in a Friday report if you like.
Okay. Is it would, okay, that's fine. And then, as far as the instructors themselves, it talks about overseeing who actually oversees the instructors and sees what they're doing in the classroom and everything.
That responsibility lies with EICC. So each teacher that's teaching a course has an assigned contact from EICC that comes in to ensure that the course is on track and that it's being followed the way that it was intended and that the syllabus is all intact and that the resources are being followed.
So they oversee EICC instructors and our district instructors. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Director Beck.
I missed the first part of that. That was in October. That's when we approved
The course guide. So the courses are approved in the course guide in October.
for the following year. Okay.
Director Hayes.
Now, for the students, not necessarily in the dual program, but for students that take AP classes, are those EICC? Okay.
Director Beck.
Sorry, I remember the question I had from last time. A lot of the EICC courses are online only. Who monitors the students' progress, and do we provide specific time for them to work on those courses? I know I have a lot of high school students in my online course, and I'm not sure who's in charge of them.
It is a combination of online as well as in-person courses when they're going to EICC, and the EIC instructor monitors that. With that said, our counselors are always checking in to see how that's going. We do have guided study hall. It's not a dedicated correlation of if you're in an EICC, you're in a guided study, but every student has a guided study hall that they can work on their coursework as well.
Okay. I mean, I can say that college instructors are not going to monitor students. That's not their job. But the benefit of having a high school student taking a college course is that they can get that high school support to remind them, okay, you need to log on this many times a week and that kind of thing. So,
and then each high school also has a counselor, an EICC counselor that is in the building. So they're monitoring and supporting and providing feedback and support that way.
thank you.
I have a question. They dropped in the agreement the percentage that we're paying, but in return, they also increased uh, $3 an hour more on their courses. So are we coming out just even? Are we actually, they dropped it, are we actually getting a discount now or even, huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. Also, the legislature had passed that if you drop an in-person class and went online, you had to pay, the student had to pay for that online. And then it got vetoed. Is there any way that we could put that in as a policy? And okay, don't shake your head. That makes me sad. Okay.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Didn't thought that was going to be signed and it wasn't. So when that bill was vetoed, that takes the ability for student or family pay out of the option. And
we
then
can't do-
modality also was the other one that was vetoed. So being able to, if you're in an in-person class and moving to online, students can move back and forth. And there was a bill to say if it's in person, that's where you need to go. So that bill was also vetoed.
Okay. And we can't make it our own policy and do it.
No.
Too bad. Okay. Director Beck.
So, an online course, if it's not taught by the exact same instructor, may not be in the same place as an in-person course, right? So say the same course, a student wants to move online. That doesn't necessarily transfer, right? Like I might teach a biology class and my colleague teaches a biology class and they're the same class, but we might do it in a slightly different order or something like that, right? So our students aren't trying to move from one modality to the other, are they? Because to me, that seems not really fair to the student and also to the instructors.
If it's the same course, whether it's online or in person, it's following the same syllabi. So then it would be the same. But whether it's
But I have the academic freedom. Maybe this is an Iowa thing.
Academic
I have the
freedom.
academic freedom to arrange my chapters however I want, however I feel best. If my colleague is teaching the other modality, they may not choose to do it the same way. If a student is to transfer, usually that involves a conversation between instructors and department chairs or whatever to make sure that it would work seamlessly and not be a detriment to the student. We also have different grading schemes, perhaps, because it's college and we have the freedom to do that. So I don't know. I guess I'm concerned that we would allow students to switch from one to the other without some serious discussion and consideration.
So were we, and we were really hoping for that to get passed and
Yeah.
vetoed. So
Okay.
yeah, we have serious financial and
Yeah.
educational concerns over that, but that now is off the table.
But so why can't we make a policy though that says we don't allow students to switch back and forth?
Because you can't trump. Yeah,
But do they have a law that says you have to allow them to?
that's the statute that we're following.
Okay. That
it's
I
the
didn't
senior
realize
year
that.
plus guidance that's in there and within the senior year plus, and it shows up in the MOU too then about modality and about switching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Naming of Brady Street Stadium for Roger Craig. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Poston.
move that Brady Street Stadium be named Roger Craig Stadium.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Food and Nutrition Service Contract Renewal for Milk. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board approve the food service and nutrition food contract renewal for 1 year for milk plain and flavored with Prairie Farms.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Food and Nutrition Service Contract Renewal for a la carte beverages from Atlantic Bottling. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Dr. Beck.
I move the board approve the Food and Nutrition Services food contracts renewal for 1 year for a la carte beverages with Atlanta Bottling.
Could I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Food and Nutrition Services Contract Renewal for Prime Vendor. Could I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Beck.
I move the board approve the Food and Nutrition Services food contract renewal for 1 year for Prime Vendor Performance Food Service.
Could I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Director Beck.
What is Prime Vendor, like what is this providing for us? And I'm assuming we're not talking about like Amazon.
So the prime vendor is our vendor that provides us the majority of our food and supplies. We do have another vendor that provides us our commodity foods, and they're Martin Brothers, but that's a contract that's held by the state, not us as a district.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Food and Nutrition Services Contract Renewal for the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Grant Program. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Beck.
I move the board approve the Food and Nutrition Services food contract renewal for 1 year for the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program with Lafredo.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Director Beck.
One more. Why is this listed as a grant and not a purchase?
Because this is a grant funded by the state. So if they don't have funding for this, then we would not be renewing this contract for next year.
So would the students not be getting vegetables?
This is a separate program that they receive at certain schools if they qualify for. It's a financial need based in our elementary buildings. So we have 14 schools that are actually going to be receiving this program next year. Some of the teachers or schools refer to it as a snack program, but what we're trying to do is expose the students to a fresh fruit or vegetable. Sometimes they get it mid-morning, sometimes they get it in the mid-afternoon. It includes a little education piece when they get to try something new in the classroom. We were just talking about the little grape kiwis or different radish, rainbow radishes. So something different that the kids haven't tried. And it's an opportunity for them just to be exposed to it and have a snack during the day.
Now I understand why my son has been talking about having snacks and eating broccoli. I had no idea this program existed. It's fantastic. It would be great if we could advertise this a little bit more. I love it because they do try things that they wouldn't otherwise try.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Policies for board approval.
Madam President,
Director Beck.
I move the board approve the following policies: 200.02, 302.18, 302.19, 307, 400, 401.02, 401.07, 401.08, 401.09, 401.14, 401.17, 401.23, 401.44, and 401.56.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion items, policies for board review. Are there any questions? Seeing none, these will come back for a vote. Next up, DCSD proposed substitute teacher daily rate increase. I would turn this over to Jamie.
Yeah, thank you. So we've been working on increasing subutilization and also looking back at what the state and local area is doing as far as sub rates. And so this first slide shows the last increase that our substitute teachers received was back in fiscal year 25. That was a 2.27% increase. And that increase was after those rates being frozen for 7 years. So it went from $129 a day from 2017 through fiscal year 24 to $132 a day in fiscal year 25. The retired teacher rate went from 173 to 177, and that was the same with the long-term daily rate. If you could go to the next. This is a comparison of where Davenport is based against other more local districts. When you see, we traditionally had been the highest district for our sub rates, and within this last year, other local districts and even districts across the state have significantly increased their sub rates. So other districts are very similar to what those other 3 districts are up there. So we are now not leading the pack, but lagging. So our proposal is that top line for Davenport, that we would increase the daily sub rate to $175. And you can see that's comparable to Muscatine and then kind of in between with Bettendorf and Pleasant Valley. And then what we would do is we're proposing to increase the retired daily rate to $200, which is a bit more than the other 3. But I also think it's very important for all the work that we're doing with instruction, that our retired teachers are very important to have in our classrooms if they're willing to be in there. And then the long-term daily rate up to $220 per day. And that's a little bit more than the other 2 districts. The other Bettendorf, Peavy, North Scott are the ones that we most compete with. Any questions on that proposal?
Director Beck?
Do the retired daily rate, I noticed at the bottom it says experienced teachers. Do they have to be retired, or is it anyone who is a former teacher?
It's
that
a retire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the vast majority of our certified
Yeah.
subs are retired
Okay.
teachers.
Anybody else? Director Hayes?
I don't know, Jamie, Kevin, where does this money come from?
So it is going to come from the general fund. It is an increased cost. So as we talked about this, I did some other data digging to see where these funds might come from. So it could potentially be somewhere around a $400,000 increase to the budget. When I pulled information from this year, we had a 1,178 unpaid teacher days. And the year before, we had 966 unpaid teacher days. So when you think of the average teacher day cost compared to what we would be paying that sub, I think it would be very close to being a wash. Would you agree, Kevin?
General fund is correct, but the next layer down is the sub is paid from the same source of funds in the general fund of who they're subbing for. So if it's a special ed teacher, those are special ed funds. If it's a title teacher, it's a title fund. If it's a gen ed teacher, it's general fund. So categoricals within the general fund will be impacted as well. But in total, the 400,000 is a number in total.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Well worth it, let me tell you. I subbed for a while, and subs are absolutely, you gotta have subs. Otherwise, it falls on teachers to cover.
Yeah, and hopefully it would also, because We also do paid prep periods. So if we don't have a sub, we're pulling a teacher from their prep period and we're giving them a prep period pay. So they're ultimately we're paying somebody to cover, and I would prefer that we could have a sub in there and not have to pull our teachers out of their classrooms.
Okay, this again will come for a vote. Next up, Cooperative 28E Agreements for Statewide Voluntary Preschool Program. Turned over to Tiffany.
So this is just an annual renewal that we need to do. So we, as you guys know, we partner with our community-based sites to ensure that they're following our IQPBS, our quality preschool standards for the state of Iowa. We pay them a per pupil flow-through fund, so we're in charge of making sure they're maintaining those standards, and then we flow through dollars to them. They're all the same partners. We are adding addition to the Learning Garden. So it used to be St. Ambrose Children's Campus, and their old director purchased it, kind of has her ducks in a row this year, so has a certified teacher on staff there. So we are adding the Learning Garden to our list of partner sites. Are there any questions?
So I didn't see Learning Garden on here.
Right under St. Paul, the Learning Garden.
Oh, okay. But nobody left, right? Because they don't have to do the 2080 agreement with us now, the state says.
Correct.
But they're all staying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the unknown at this point. They're all staying. They like the collaboration and stuff, but it's also an unknown of what that will look like. So us monitoring versus the state monitoring, there's not a lot of clear guidance yet. So I think that's a fear of theirs, maybe.
Got it. Director Beck.
Does this still only cover like what, 4 hours a day or
10 hours a week?
10 hours a week.
Mhm.
Okay. And so the benefit of these programs is that they can deliver our high quality educational instruction, but parents can opt for the wraparound care because that part is not voluntary, correct?
Some of them.
Some of
A
them are
couple of
just
our
preschool.
partners also don't offer the wraparound care. They're just strictly
It's just the preschool.
Mhm.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, again, this will come back on the next agenda. Head Start contract.
Yep. So again, the same. We talked last year about this also. So we partner with Community Action of Eastern Iowa to provide Head Start spaces at our Children's Village West and Children's Village Hoover sites. So these are full day spots that are paid for by Head Start. So we have 90 spots reserved, if you will, for Head Start students. 80 of them have to be 4-year-olds, so we can pair that funding with this funding as well as our statewide voluntary. And then we do have 10 spots for 3-year-olds that we reserve. If usually they're a sibling kind of duo, so mom and dad can bring them to the same spot. But this is a similar contract to last year. They did do a 3.5% increase because we do use a lot of this funds for staffing for those additional 90 students. They're always full. Usually we have a waiting list for kids to get in there. And if Community Action doesn't have a waiting list, they're really good about talking with us like, hey, do you have any kiddos that are maybe having trouble paying their bills, stuff like that. So they will also partner with us to support some of our families that aren't through Head Start.
Any questions? Director Poston.
It states in there for the Head Start that there's 2 home visits per year. So who does those home visits?
Yep. So we do conduct home visits at our building unless they want a home visit. So it's always an option for families, but most of them opt to come in. So our teachers do those home visits.
Cool.
Director Beck.
So it's more of a like parent-child conference type thing, but it's just more written into the program.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. They're the federal per the federal Head Start standards. We have to have 2 home visits and 2 conferences per year for those students. And for the most part, we do it for everybody because, it's beneficial to have families on our side.
Okay, so we have 90 seats set aside for Head Start. How many do we have that are just district seats?
So I have 420-ish gen ed seats, and then I have an allocation for special education also. So we've talked about that too. When kiddos turn 3 and are entitled to services, we have to take them as well. So we have 420 spots in addition to these that we can fill just from off the street registration.
And we fill them all. Is that correct?
For the most part, yeah.
Waiting lists in all categories.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. Any other questions? I think that's it. How about Medicaid contract? Kevin?
So
I didn't know it was Diane.
you may have seen this on a Friday report, but our Medicaid contract used to be with Timberline. They were purchased by Relay. It's the same people servicing our contract. So we have a person that's dedicated to us. She's still dedicated to us going forward. Relay has assured us of that. They provide Medicaid is a very, very, very heavily paper funded activity. We get the Medicaid, the federal Medicaid portion. We have to pay the state their portion to help us get these claims right without being audited and have to repay. This is what Relay does for us. A lot of support from them, a lot of trainings for our staff to know how to do that, because we'll have a lot of turnover of people that may be submitting claims. So this contract is with Relay to provide the administration of our Medicaid program.
I was impressed how much they have reclaimed. Is it an increased amount from what we used to, or?
Yes, it varies. You got to have the students that are eligible for Medicaid reimbursement. Sure. So there's a variable in there that it depends. But we try and get everything out of Medicaid that we can. It helps our nursing support. It helps our special ed deficit. It defers that a little bit. So anything we can get, we will get from that, if at all possible.
That's great. Anybody else? Okay, this will also come up on the next agenda. Bullseye.
Diane, but I'll start until she gets back in here. Bullseye is a software that we utilize for our walkthrough management system. We are currently using this inside of our district. So picture when a coach or a principal walks into a classroom, there's dedicated walkthrough items. The principal fills out the walkthrough information, and it's automatically sent to the teacher, and the feedback is immediate, and there can be course until the face-to-face, which is optimal for any type of principal-teacher growth. But this software really has aligned our walkthroughs, the data that we're looking at. So Director Postian, when you asked earlier, how do we know that our coaches are getting in the classrooms and supporting the teachers that they have? This software helps us do that. It also allows us to align exactly our walkthroughs exactly with what we are attempting to implement. And then that allows us to then pair that with student data. Diane, I tried to bridge the gap until you got back, so hopefully you were able to hear me out in the hallway. But,
I did. You did amazing. You did amazing. So one of the pieces with Bullseye, the benefits is that cohesive conversations and discussions that can happen. So whether you're a coach or a principal, our specialists are using this. Bonnie and Mike, our directors, use this. So all of it goes into one place. And so as a principal and as our coaches are having their weekly meetings, their instructional meetings, they can see which teachers have had coaching cycles, what feedback has been given, so it streamlines. So as a teacher, I'm not getting a different experience. I'm getting, a very cohesive message about improvement and supports that are happening. So that's one way of using Bullseye to be able to provide feedback to teachers. We know that feedback face to face is the most important, and so we continue to share that message to have those touch points. And then it has the Bullseye is that one-stop shop where all of it can happen in one place. So it also provides all the opportunities for the various walkthrough tools that are needed. So we talked about CKLA, for example, earlier this evening, and that is a fidelity check or an implementation check, and that's in there. But then also Tier 1 instructional priority practices are in Bullseye. So if a principal's going in or a coach is going in for, you know, a 10-minute visit, they're able to give a quick feedback loop that's very consistent with best practices. So again, one way that one place that we can put all this information to continue to show improvement.
Questions? Director Beck.
Is this like a principal has like a tablet, or whoever's doing the observation has like an iPad type thing that has the software on it, so they can.
Mm-hmm. Correct. It's on their tablet, their computer. I've done it using my phone, and it's actually very user friendly to be able to put in information and add information in there.
Okay, that was going to be my second question. Like, is this yet another software program that people have to learn? But if it's user friendly, I mean,
yeah,
it takes some of that off.
It is very user friendly. As a matter of fact, we met with them today just to talk about some upcoming opportunities. We have a design team. Bullseye right now is populated with our learning lab buildings, and our learning lab buildings have used it this entire year, and we've modified and we've changed. They've been very responsive with information that we're giving them and saying, okay, this is what we want it to look like, and then they're able to build it on the backside. And so that's been really helpful to have the learning labs in front to be able to see what works and what doesn't. So we're bringing a team together. As a matter of fact, this Friday, a design team to talk about what does 26, 27 look like. You know, we were thinking learning lab buildings, but as we go district-wide, being able to really be streamline all of that work and get input from principals of what's working and what's not.
Okay, so you're the principal and I'm the teacher, and you come in and you use Bullseye. I see it, you see it. Is that as far as it goes? Or are all the coaches and all the other people seeing what you wrote to me, or how's that work?
Mm-hmm. So there are a couple different options. If I'm a principal or a coach and I just want some notes for myself, I can do that, not publish or push it. So then it just stays with me. If it is pushed, then it's the principal and the coach that would have that, and the teacher would see their feedback as well. But other teachers cannot see each other's.
And only the coach that's in the building?
Correct.
Or?
Mm-hmm. It's building specific.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So district administrators would not see what you wrote, just the coach in my building and you and me?
It depends on the access at the district level. So if a district person is assigned to a building, they would have that access. So it's based on the user role.
So I think I know where you're going with this one. So this is in service of improving instruction. So a lot of times it takes a lot of calibration with, hey, this is what we're working on with this teacher. So you want to make sure that the principal and the coach are sharing that information back and forth, because nothing's more confusing than when you go in. If and when it turns evaluative, that this is not the product for that. This is about coaching. This is not a gotcha for teachers. You can ask Diane, that was my biggest worry with this product. We're not going to go in, hide behind this product and play gotcha with teachers. What I've noticed from our teachers is they love it. Well, I don't know if anybody loves getting feedback on how to get better, but it's immediate. They can go right to their desk, see what it is, and respond. And that's the interaction with this software that I've seen. But the second it becomes evaluative, then that becomes between the principal and no one else.
Thank you.
I would say that is one of the big advantages of it, is that two-way communication too, as TJ mentioned, that the teacher can respond, or if there's a question or a prompt, there's an immediate response, and teachers do ask for that.
Director Beck?
Is that somewhere in writing that it's not used for evaluations, or that it's only viewed by the teachers, the coach?
Part of the training. part of the training, that this is not evaluative, that this is for coaching and feedback.
Okay, but with the administration having access, I guess personally I'd be a little concerned if, I mean, I trust people not to access it if they say they're not doing it, but I think I can imagine a scenario, especially a newer teacher, you know, can I trust this system, knowing that people up there, you know, have access. But if it's in the training and kind of in writing, I think that would make it more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say that there's been a significant shift in the last 2 years about being in classrooms. So Davenport is in a very unique situation compared to other districts that I've been affiliated with. That it really, everyone is really about continuous improvement. And so we all, and TJ really set the stage for this when he kicked it off in the fall, about we all have coaches. And I'll never forget that powerful message. And he explained how he has a coach, and that we as directors have a coach, and that we all are getting feedback. And that's how we get better to serve our students. And so that really, I think, provided the platform to be able to accelerate the use of it and use it in a positive way. And yeah, there questions about it in the beginning, even from principals about, oh, remember the firewall. But that really has not surfaced here recently, or even this last semester. There hasn't been any situations that I'm aware of that it caused any red flag or concern, because it's being used the way that it was intended to be used. And again, with that coaching and feedback, that's just that continuous improvement cycle that has been really built in. I would say the other piece to Bullseye quickly is the reports that are generated, and we definitely have room to grow. I learned a lot this past year. First semester, it was just let's get it up and, and using the tool and seeing what works and what doesn't. And then as we moved into second semester, pulling the data and, for example, coaching cycles. How many of if I'm a building principal and a coach, I can pull up to see how many of my teachers have been in a coaching cycle. And in our learning lab buildings, we shifted that to say every teacher will have a coaching cycle. And, you know, that at first was like, what's that going to look like? But now it is just teachers are asking for it. We just looked at information this morning, as a matter of fact, and it was like 4.9 or 3.9 on a 4-point scale said that they had positive feedback around the coaching cycles. The second question was something about, you know, would you recommend a coaching cycle to, you know, another teacher? And that was incredibly high too. Same thing, 3.86 or something on a 4-point scale.
Director Poston.
Yeah, in one of my school visits, I did witness this in use, and you know, the principal was showing me how the feedback worked and everything, and the principal was very positive. And what she liked about it is it's immediate feedback. You don't have to go back later on, and that's what I think the teachers like, is the immediate feedback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the research would say that that is critical. That's number one, that if anyone's in the classroom, that feedback happen immediately within 24 hours. And this happens, you know, as the principal or the coach is in the room. So I think that's really powerful.
Director Hayes.
Diane, is that feedback all electronic, or do they have the opportunity for one-on-ones if they want, or
yes,
if two individuals are experiencing the same problem? Is it something for the coach to kind of coach them both together, or how does that work?
100%. You know, we continue to say the most important is that face-to-face interaction. And so what's happening in Bullseye is they'll get the written piece of it as well, but that follow-up with a in-person is important. And so that happens. The other piece is we've had some examples where there's some grade level coaching within a PLC. That they all have the same problem of practice. And so that information is also collected within Bullseye. And then when it comes to the reports, there are multiple reports. And like I said, we were really learning how to use those second semester. We had some principals that did an outstanding job being able to share how they're using each of the reports within their weekly instructional meetings. So that training would support other principals too.
Thank you. This will come up on the next regular meeting. Williams walk-in freezer cooler replacement. Hard to say anything, isn't it? We're getting a replacement.
Yes. So the current walk-in refrigerator freezer unit at Williams is very old. We have, as a district, spent lots of money trying to repair it, and at this point, it really can't be repaired. Not only is the top of it bad, it's leaking, and also the floor is bad. So the recommendation is to put a concrete pad and replace the entire unit.
Would this be ready to go when school starts? I mean,
That is our goal. Absolutely.
Okay. Yep. Any other questions? Okay. Next meeting. Contract renewals for 26-27 meal prices.
You guys already did that. So actually the agenda item is just for the breakfast and lunch prices for next school year.
Anybody have a question? It only went up like 5 cents. Seemed reasonable.
Correct. And just to make a note that the USDA actually provides us the price for the adult meal. So that is $5.14, but we're rounding it up just to make it easy for an even $5.15. But that amount is nothing that we can actually control. We can raise it higher than that, but that is a standard that the USDA gives us.
Anybody have a question? Okay, we'll see that.
Okay.
Next, fund transfer request. Kevin.
That one's mine. Every June we do fund transfers. There's one that's a common one that every year is the food nutrition transfer that we do up to a certain amount, not to exceed amount. That'll be coming yet the next board meeting. We have 3 that have to do with perils, insurance losses, and I listed those there. And then we have another one that's interesting is a fund that's coming to an end. This does not happen very often, but once the TPRA fund that I listed the very last bullet on there, when that is complete after the end of June, in July we'll be coming back for approval, July, maybe August, just to make sure that all the activity in that fund is complete. The residual amount in that fund to close, we move that to the general fund. We have every intent and purpose to spend those on TPR related things for our staff. That fund was because we were the fiscal agent for surrounding districts. And so the residual amount comes back to us to spend in the spirit of what the grant was. That one does not have to be approved by the end of June. The board can do it any time, but I like to have clean books. So as soon as we can get it done, I don't want to rush it and have something wrong and come back and do it again. Therefore, it's going to be July or the first August board meeting that will be closed. The reason this has to happen is we have to spend the dollars in the fund that is mandated by the state, and the management fund in most cases, especially for the perils, will reimburse those funds, either the general fund or Pebble fund in these cases. It's not as simple as, why don't you just have the management fund pay for it? We're not allowed to do that. We have to pay for it out of the fund that's appropriate and then have the board approve the movement of funds. Our management fund is able to handle this, so it's expected. So that's a good thing, and it will cover the other funds that we are leaning heavy on with PEPL and general funds. So it's really a win-win for us on this. Questions?
So the Madison fire, we paid for it out of general and PEPL, and so where are we moving it to?
We will be moving it from the management fund back to PEPL and general fund.
Okay, got it.
So for that one's unique because the structure piece was paid for with PEPAL funds because that's what you use PEPAL funds for. The supplies that were damaged and ruined is all supply type things. Those are general fund type expenditures. That's why there'll be two amounts from management fund to PEPAL and save for that activity.
Okay.
Or PEPAL and general fund, sorry.
Anybody else? Okay, be on the next agenda. Superintendent.
I have two items. Today and tomorrow, the Davenport Schools is partnered with the Des Moines Schools. A national expert, Paul Bambrick, is in on how to evaluate data. And our schools that are in the comprehensive area, our learning lab schools, are there today working with this national expert on how exactly to look at student work, decide a teaching strategy, implement that teaching strategy using the materials that we have, and then come back on a cyclical nature to check for improvement, aligning coaching strategies, aligning our coaching cycles to that. So I'm very excited about that partnership and really appreciate the Des Moines schools for offering that to us. This Sunday, those same 7 schools leave for the University of Virginia. So they give a day on Sunday for travel. And then there are 4 very intense learning days. We go to the Darden School of Business. You've heard me speak of this before. And it's like taking master's levels classes. We're there all day, and our cabinet learns right alongside of our buildings to improve our systems for outcomes for our students. And I'm very proud of the team that is going, because they give their heart and soul when they're there to improve the outcomes for our students.
Does the whole staff of the building go?
No, there's the administrator, and I don't know if we have a couple of key staff members that go to this one, but they have been starting to come with us. So it's helping implement as we come back to the school district. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Administrative report. Board requests. Board reflections. Director Potts.
Yes.
Would you like to reflect?
You want me to reflect? I shall reflect. I guess nothing in particular stands out as being, a high watermark in today's meeting, other than the efficiency with which we conduct our meetings and the feedback we get from the staff when we have questions, because they answer the questions right up front. And I would say in the long run, those 2 items are probably very significant in the success we're having as a board.
Thank you. Director Poston.
Yeah, I would agree with Director Potts. We covered a lot of territory today, but the one thing that sticks out for me is the naming of the Brady Street Stadium to Roger Craig Stadium. And then also, earlier I asked some questions about Amplify. And again, I made quite a few visits with the coaches and staff, and both in the fall and in the spring. And I can see the improvement that's taking place. I would also like to see that take place in our middle school and in our high school. And we need to get so that every single building is structured so that everything is the same within the district. So I think that continues to be important, and I think it's something that the school board needs to stay on top of.
Thank you. Director Yankee, did she join us? I do not believe so. Director Beck.
I would say naming Brady Street Stadium for Roger Craig is probably the highlight of today. I know we discussed it last week, so this was a little anticlimactic, but I'm looking forward to that day when we actually do that. And for me, what kind of stands out, aside from what our previous directors have said, is the fact that we are asking for fidelity and for continued development, continued professional development, and we're seeing it. And so not only are we implementing a program, but we're not just dropping it off. We're actually like continuing to foster it. And that's not something I would see back when I first joined the board. And so I think that's a really wonderful, wonderful piece, and I hope we can keep that up.
Director Hayes.
The renaming of the stadium was important to me, and I also give kudos to the open forum. I think it took a lot for that parent to come, and I don't feel it was intentional because we speak of inclusion all the time, but I think it brought awareness that there's some things that we are inadvertently overlooking, and I think just her coming forward to bring that to our attention was important to me.
Superintendent.
I rarely highlight the policies, but I think Stacy Blizzard has done an awesome job organizing the policies, feeling the vibe of our policy meeting, and that's incredibly difficult. I think she did a great job. Tiffany Stallcup, for us to say that we have almost 500 spots and they're almost all full, she has done a fantastic job. And then you have our people that keep our district running. Connie Dobbles, I mean, this is an extremely large part of our organization, and they run very smooth. Ken Bellman, I mean, our cameras, everything's working. Jamie Weinzerl, making sure that she is studying that stuff like a hawk all the time. And so today, when we're renewing those contracts and looking at them, they're competitive. They're close to these people are just hammering those things all the time. And we call them the Avengers of the district. You have your instructional side, and then you have your Avengers out there fighting to keep our buildings and structures and technology running the way it goes. And so that's a positive thing from our agenda today.
I spent more time this weekend reading every little detail in this agenda than our meeting ran today, so I think that's great. But I also think it was good that a lot of things were explained in the Friday report. When bullseye, I was like, what is a bullseye? But we knew that then when we got to that, so I appreciate that. Policies, I'm always glad when we get a big bunch of policies over and done with. I went to the Bill Freeze dedication for the baseball field, and there's something very cool about dedicating part of our athletic facilities. And so the fact that now we're doing another one for Roger Craig, that is very exciting. So looking forward to that. May I have a motion, Director Potts?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay? Anybody got an nay? Meeting adjourned.